EA's back on Steam.
Yeah.
Officially as of this morning. Like I had there was a story going around last week that people had found. I'm not sure if this was an app on Steam. The wording was a little ambiguous on what I saw. I'm not sure if
like references to like the Steam, in the Steam database.
Yeah, people found like references to a test application for running Origin games on Steam. So,
yeah.
And EA tweeted a short video of a cup of like a steaming mug with an ellipsis. So.
Oh, well then.
So you knew something was coming. But they got out and it was kind of a wild rollout because I think the first thing I saw was loading up the Steam store and just seeing Jedi Fallen Order as the top
like pre-order now. So this is like a staged thing. It's not everything, and it's not. They don't have everything there yet.
Yeah.
And
I love the first line of this announcement from EA. Electronic Arts and Valve have partnered to put EA games in the hands of players on Steam, as if they were never there in the first place.
There are still EA games for sale on Steam. Like
but the actual headline is EA games are coming back to Steam.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jedi Fallen Order, the new Respawn single-player Star Wars game, is up for pre-order now on Steam. That's out in a couple weeks. They say in the coming months, The Sims 4, Unravel 2, Apex Legends, FIFA 20, Battlefield 5 are some of the games they mentioned will be coming to Steam.
No mention of Need for Speed, which is out before Jedi Fallen Order.
Do you think they will mention that game again in any capacity whatsoever before it releases?
I got an email from someone saying we have a launch trailer for Need for Speed Heat. And I was like, cool, do you have the game? I said, yeah.
I had forgotten what the name of it was until you just said it.
So we should be getting our hands on that.
Any expectations?
No, I don't. You know, what they've shown of it has been. I haven't gone out of my way. I know they did some stuff where they had, I think like IGN and GameSpot and stuff like that go, record some gameplay and put it up or whatever. But they have not done much showing that game off to people. And what they said of it back at Gamescom was it just sounded pretty standard. Like the formula of just like this time is take back the night, like there's a daytime and nighttime and like all that sort of same. It looked like another spin on the same type of open world street racing type stuff they've been doing.
Yeah, this is the first one where they took a year off, right? In a while, or 2 years?
No, they did.
They've had it. It's been a while, right?
Most Wanted was the last one I remember.
Oh, the last was the last one the one that was just called Need for Speed?
Okay. Or was there one? Need for Speed Rivals was the.
No, Rivals was before launch. That was the launch game.
Okay,
that was the PS4.
I feel like they've been taking breaks and trying to reboot and taking breaks and stuff with that thing all generation.
Let me see. Let me just find out.
Yeah, the lineage is.
This is the third. I think this is either the third or fourth Need for Speed on these consoles.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Let's see. Holy crap, it's the fifth. Really?
Get the fuck out of
That can't be right.
No, one of them's got to be the mobile game.
You're right. That might be the case.
I think Most Wanted was cross-platform, like PS3, PS4. No, was it just PS4?
I think it was just.
Oh my god! It was Need for Speed Rivals.
Okay.
In 2013 at the launch of these consoles.
Yeah.
Need for Speed in 2015.
Right.
Need for Speed Payback in 2017.
Payback. Right.
That was forgot about Payback.
Yeah, everyone did. That was the one that like had microtransactions that were probably worse than Battlefront's, but because Battlefront was a Star Wars game, it got way more shit.
And that was the one that had like loot-colored carburetors and mufflers and all that stuff.
Which like the crew kind of did some of that stuff too, but like the Need for Speed stuff was like draped in. Didn't get what you want, maybe you should spend some money. Like it was just like it was messy and also not a very good game.
Yeah. So it was 2 years between Need for Speed and Payback, and then it's been 2 years since Payback.
Got it.
Until Heat.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like everything they said about Heat, I think it sounds like more of the same. But I think like that formula can work. I mean, if they get it right, they get it right. Yeah. I don't. The formula is not necessarily the broken part. It's always been the execution with this generation of Need for Speed games. And so I don't know that I'm not going to sit here and say that I've got like expectations one way or the other. Well, I don't know. Given them like going out of the way to not talk about it. And all that sort of stuff. I'm wondering if it's maybe just like another mess, and they're just like, well, we spent 2 years on this thing, and the time since, I think it's the time since Payback. Is that when Craig Sullivan left for Amazon? Or did he leave before? Because he was kind of heading up Ghost Games at that point. Like he goes back to the Criterion days and all that sort of stuff.
That was mid 2017, so that was I think before Payback even came out.
Okay. Well. I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe such fine games as Need for Speed Heat will be for sale on Steam.
Well, I feel like if that was the case,
Or do
they
you
would
think
have
they
said
would have mentioned
so.
it?
It would have mentioned it at least by name.
Unless that's how much they're trying to not talk about it before release.
Well, so the other part of this is that they're going to bring EA access to
so
Steam
that's
in the spring.
Maybe the actual biggest part of this. I mean,
feel
the whole
like-
thing is pretty big.
Yeah, the minute you're bringing EA access, I think at that point the expectation is that every single game on the service, which would include...
Because you can't very well try to charge people for EA access on Steam and give them less than what they're getting on Origin, right?
Right.
So they're going to have a... Has anybody else done a subscription model like
No,
EA
they are quick to point out that this is the first subscription service for games on Steam.
That's interesting. I'm surprised Steam hasn't done it yet. Like, just have a humble bundle kind of thing, rotating titles that you get automatically if you sign up. I signed up for EA Access Premiere right before Andromeda came out. So I was like, I got Andromeda and Anthem.
Did you think that means Anthem is coming to Steam?
Yeah, so that's the thing. If EA Access is coming to Steam, then everything has to come to Steam. Syndicate has to come to Steam.
Hey,
like all the games in the EA Vault, right? Like presumably they all have to make their way over there.
I remember when Origin launched. It's been a while.
2015.
No, way before that. Because Mass Effect 3 is not on Steam.
Origin or Access?
And that was 2012.
Because Origin has been around for
No, Origin.
Origin's been around.
Just plain old
Access
Origin.
has been not. That's a couple years old, I think.
Yeah, that has to be at least 2012 because Mass Effect 3 is not on there.
Right.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time. It's
so that's a lot of EA games.
They sell other publishers though, right? Because I know Ubisoft will.
Yeah, they sell third-party games on there as well.
I would expect that means that all of the EA back catalog eventually makes its way there too.
Now, Epic sells EA games, correct?
No.
Okay.
No, EA games have only been on Origin on PC until apparently today.
Yeah.
I'm really curious what the Call of Duty sales are going to look like on PC since it's on Steam. I'm sure some bean counters.
Yeah, like that's like there's this, and then there's this Ubisoft thing we'll get to in a minute where it makes you wonder if getting off of Steam has maybe not panned out for some of these big franchises.
Right. Well, also, I think, EA, when they launched Origin, it was a pretty different EA. It was an EA in, it was before Mass Effect 3 launched, as you said. So before that fucking fiasco.
Yeah. Let me see if I can just find a date real fast.
And that was EA in a position of strength saying, we are doing this because we know you will come play our games elsewhere.
But Battlefield was very strong.
Battlefield was ascendant. There was a lot of other stuff working in their favor at that time where you looked at it when they've got the games, people will come.
Yeah.
EA of 2019, do they have the games? Absolutely not. The idea of just hey, we've got to pull people over to Origin and then we get to sell them Anthem. No.
Yeah.
That subscription service relies on you caring about those games and all that other stuff and being in that ecosystem and all. Yep. So at some point, if they no longer have the high quality software to attract people to Origin, then they have to get out and look elsewhere. And I wonder if this ended up, if they pitched Epic. I wonder, okay, they announced it as a partnership. This isn't just EA going back in and taking the standard deal, I assume.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I assume that Valve is cutting them in on something, and Valve is obviously building in support for the EA Access stuff to make all that work. So I would imagine that EA probably tried to play Epic against Valve, right? At some point, right? Wouldn't they?
Probably.
So
you would hope. Or you would think.
Yeah. Unless Epic was just our infrastructure is not at a point where we can do that.
That is entirely
we just
possible.
Fucking can't.
They still don't really do preloads and stuff, right?
They have.
Isn't it very game specific?
I've heard the Outer Worlds was supposed to preload on Epic, and I heard it wasn't working for some people.
They didn't do Borderlands preloads, and I think Pitchford had promised that they would.
Yeah. I glance at their Trello board every few months.
Sure.
There's still plenty of work to do there.
Right.
So my understanding is you'll have to buy all these games again. It's not like your Origin games just port over.
That's actually fucked because
I don't know
they
that
ported them one way.
Yeah, that's right.
When they launched Origin, you could take your product keys from Steam and punch them into Origin and unlock them.
You didn't lose access
to them
on Steam,
to them on Steam.
Okay.
So I would like to think that there would be a process of you tie your Origin account back to Steam and that stuff comes in.
Yeah. And that
also
would
be a nice gesture.
Yeah. That also raises questions around like Apex Legends, for example. If you've bought a bunch of stuff on Origin, but then you want to play it, in that case, it's a free-to-play game. I would assume your account is just going to bring your purchases over.
Well, they are saying that they're bringing Origin to Steam.
Yeah.
So presumably you still have your EA login the same way you play has a client that launches off of Steam or the Epic Store or something like that. That they do for
like some Rockstar games have had the same thing on Steam, right?
Yeah,
just kind of launcher
social club stuff,
launcher within a launcher type stuff has been around for a while.
So I would imagine that they'd build a thinner version of the Origin client that doesn't have the store.
Well, the social club can launch from inside the game, right? You log into GTA 5, you start it up, and then you log into that. So maybe that's a solution. I don't know.
Like you click launch and then it pops the launcher window and says like, "Hey, log into your Rockstar."
I forget.
That's at least how you play would work also. Because then there's all kinds of free to play games that have done this where it's like, okay, you're gonna make an account here one time and tie it to your Steam account and then never have to think about it again because it's all done. And I would assume that they do something similar here. I guess that seems like the smoothest way to handle it, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Still, that's that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like when I read that, I was kind of surprised, and then I was like, oh, when I thought about the EA catalog, I was like, actually, of course they would be in a position to need to get more eyeballs on their PC ports.
Yes.
Like they Origin probably isn't attracting them the way it used to.
Yeah, and I'm sure this new Star Wars game was not the entire impetus behind this, but the way their Star Wars stuff has gone to date.
Sure.
Under that new deal, like getting this game, I'm sure this game needs to hit pretty big for them.
Even if it wasn't the impetus, like it's another good reason to think about doing this.
Having that game on the biggest PC storefront, I'm sure will not hurt things with Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.